Vultr, really three core aspects of it: by developers, for developers, most ambitious workloads on the planet.
Tell us more about that. Why AMD and what do you see in the market?
And to spin them up on Vultr infrastructure to build and scale the future.
How do you approach this problem of data residency and cloud sovereignty?
Your data, you own it. Never accessed by Vultr or transferred by Vultr anywhere. They are fully under your control.
Tell us a little bit more about your compute offerings, the whole spectrum from bare metal to serverless. How significant are these partnerships?
We believe in open communities, open innovation, power of open source, and the power of collaboration. Our goal is to empower everyone, everywhere.
I've been using H100s on Vultr and the experience has been pretty smooth.
We pride ourselves on cost of performance, the best global reach, simplest, most transparent pricing.
It's very, very clear. And today's guest is Kevin, who is the Chief Marketing Officer for Vultr. Kevin, great to have you on my show.
Great to see you again, Janakiram. Very happy to have this conversation today and looking forward to it.
Great. So Vultr has been a very interesting cloud that I've been using for a few years now. For my audiences and for the community, can you tell how Vultr is different from any other cloud platform that's available for the customers and community?
Yeah, Vultr, really three core aspects of it. So we're a platform built by developers, for developers, to build and scale some of the most ambitious workloads on the planet. And here at Vultr, the three core things that we pride ourselves on is having the best cost of performance in the industry, the best global reach, as well as the simplest, most transparent pricing. So unpacking each of those things, here at Vultr, we believe in delivering the highest performance cloud compute at the lowest possible cost so that developers everywhere around the globe can build amazing things quickly and easily. Also, we want to make certain that the applications that they're building, they can scale to all four corners of the planet. So that means we operate 32 data center regions all around the globe, reaching 90% of the world's population in between 2 and 4 milliseconds. And of course, we also offer the simplest, most transparent pricing across our entire fleet of GPUs, as well as our entire fleet of CPUs. Here at Vultr, we're a full cloud native compute stack, both for your traditional cloud native applications, as well as your new AI native applications. And we want to bring simplicity, transparency, and ease of use to the platform and our pricing for all of your core cloud compute initiatives, as well as all of your new AI initiatives.
Perfect. Thank you so much for articulating that. It's very, very clear. And Kevin, as an industry analyst, I track multiple cloud platforms, including Vultr. And what I actually see is partnerships are one of the unique aspects of Vultr. You have an alliance initiative that you have started. So tell us about how significant are these partnerships and some of the initiatives that you have been running and what to look forward in 2025.
We believe in open communities. We believe in open innovation. We believe in the power of open source and the power of collaboration. And that means that we want to enable freedom, choice, and flexibility so that developers everywhere can experiment and build with the latest and greatest technologies and can compose their own best of breed cloud stack. That means that we indeed have a variety of different partnerships with vendors across the entire cloud stack. so that it's simple and easy to integrate and spin up different services from different providers on Vultr infrastructure. We have our marketplace with hundreds of pre-built images so that within one click in less than 10 seconds, you can get spun up with a best of breed cloud stack from a variety of different third-party providers. And of course, we do joint go-to-markets with those partners as well. That's all of your technical documentation. That's all of your tech talks. That's all of your developer meetups. Because again, our goal is to empower everyone everywhere, developers no matter where they live and work, to be able to get access to the best in class cloud resources and to spin them up on Vultr infrastructure to build and scale the future.
Perfect. So last year, you were one of the first few cloud platforms to launch AMD's AI Accelerator.
Mhm.
Tell us more about that. Why AMD, and what do you see in the market?
Well, again, we've been a long-standing partner of AMD on the core cloud compute side, offering top-of-the-line AMD CPUs so that developers can have the highest performance compute infrastructure for some of their, core cloud workloads. On the compute side, we also offer top-of-the-line Intel CPUs as well. We truly believe in freedom, choice, and flexibility for developers so they can make the best decision on the best compute infrastructure that best supports their workloads and their business needs. On the GPU side, we do the same thing. So we offer the top of the line NVIDIA GPUs, but now we also offer the top of the line AMD GPUs. So again, all of your developers and AI engineers have freedom, choice, and flexibility to make the best decision for what is the right compute and GPU infrastructure to support their needs. On the AMD front as well, the MI300X accelerator has certain advantages in certain use cases in terms of power efficiency, in terms of overall performance, just as NVIDIA GPUs do as well. And so, again, by providing the widest range of options, our goal here is to provide the best availability of choice for developers that are looking to pioneer new AI initiatives.
Perfect. So, Kevin, I know you have a strong presence in India. You have a footprint of multiple data centers. So, tell us about your investment in India and how you see the market in India.
Yeah, so we're super excited about the Indian market. And as you said, we have the best geographic coverage in India with three data centers located in Delhi, Bangalore, and Mumbai. We also have a very large, Vultr presence in India as well. I'm very proud that my entire developer relations team and documentation team is actually based in India. It's just on the phone with them just recently. And we love engaging the Indian developer community, specifically running hackathons and meetups. We ran two wonderful hackathons just this past quarter. Hack CBS was one of them. And, our hackathons, we had thousands of, kids right in university build some unbelievably amazing applications leveraging our CPUs and our GPUs and our core Kubernetes and serverless infrastructure. And it was unbelievable the talent and the amazing solutions that these new developers came up with. And again, it gets back to the heart of Vultr's mission, which is empowering everyone everywhere to invent the future. Okay, giving them access to the most cost-effective platform with the simplest and easiest to use user interface and pricing, and just enabling them to do wonderful things. And I would love to share with you just some of the examples of some of the solutions that some of the students came up with. We're actually recording some of their final demos and actually establishing profiles for them, because some of the most amazing entrepreneurs are coming right out of universities in India, and we could not be more thrilled to do even more hackathons and to support the Indian market.
Perfect. That's very exciting. So, switching gears, Andrew Ng calls AI as the new electricity. It's almost everywhere. It's invisible, but it is almost there in everything that we are dealing with. And I extend that definition by saying if AI is the electricity, cloud is the power grid, right? That's where the electricity is generated, the new AI. So when it comes to AI, what can Vulture customers expect, and what are your investments in AI, and what are your offerings around
Yeah.
AI?
So it's so funny because a group of vultures is actually called a volt, and here at Vulture, we want to bring the voltage to AI, and really power that grid. So the future of AI is really, really fascinating because in the early AI market, when people were trying to understand kind of this new world, everyone was simply seeking to get access to GPUs in order to train and tune and experiment with new large language models. Okay. And now what we're actually seeing is people are understanding how to actually build real life AI native applications to unlock the power of new generative AI solutions. And this is kind of the whole kind of agentic AI revolution. Like, how can you start putting the AI at the core of every business process? How can you put AI at the core of every customer experience? And how you can do very, very different things that you've never been able to done before in the past. A good example from our hackathon, we had students invent, new mobile apps that enable people to literally ask critical preventative healthcare questions for people throughout rural India to basically improve healthcare outcomes. Fantastic use of a back LLM, fantastic application that can really change entire communities, right? So what we're doing is making certain that we have the on-demand training resources in terms of GPUs, so you can train and tune your models in region, in India, or in the UK, or in Germany. Okay. And also provide all of the GPUs necessary to infer those models, which is a very different set of requirements because you might be training a model in one centralized location, but when you're inferring a model, you need to have more distributed compute coverage so that you have lower latency, so that you can deliver a faster response to your end user. Moreover, on that inference infrastructure, we're making certain that we provide the serverless infrastructure to support it. So, where you're building and training a model, you might know how much GPUs you need for your different runs, training runs. But when you're inferring a model, you don't necessarily know the capacity you need in Delhi. You don't necessarily know the capacity you need in Bangalore. You don't necessarily know the capacity you need in Mumbai. And you certainly don't want to invest in a lot of inference infrastructure and then have periods of time when there's very low demand, but you're still eating the cost. So the critical part of serverless infrastructure is you don't need to worry about that. Serverless infrastructure scales to zero, we like to say. So where there is no demand, there is no GPUs allocated to fulfill, any sort of customer request. But as customer requests start spiking in Delhi, for example, we'll start spinning up new nodes in our inference clusters to support those requests. And then, of course, as those requests die down, we scale them down. So think about a content delivery network, a CDN. In the core cloud world, you don't really worry about where you're caching your content or where you're accelerating your application delivery. You let the network handle that. And so, too, in the AI world, you need to have the equivalent so that you're not over investing in infrastructure that you may or may not need. And so that where you do have demand spikes, you're not caught flat footed because you're not able to fulfill those demands. So In the AI infrastructure world, again, it's about empowering everyone everywhere to do remarkable things, like the example I just highlighted from our hackathon, making sure the GPUs are available in India, making sure the training GPUs are available in India, the inference GPUs are available in India, and that you have the on-demand scalability with our serverless infrastructure to make it as simple and easy to scale as possible.
Perfect. So you touched upon the use cases of training, inference, and then serverless, where I can just bring my model and run it across a fleet of servers without worrying about capacity. But one of the biggest concerns that customers have bringing their data to the cloud is the the ability to retain their data and protect their data from getting used in pre-training other models, or spilling over the data to other models that they don't intend to. So how do you approach this problem of data residency and cloud sovereignty, extending that to Vultr?
Yep. So here at Data, your data is your data. You own it. So when you put bits in a bucket in Mumbai, those bits in that bucket are never accessed by Vultr or transferred by Vultr anywhere. They are fully under your control. From day one, since the launch of the platform in 2014, we have always supported data residency. So you are guaranteed that your critical data will be under your control. Only you can transfer it anywhere. Okay. And it is fully resident in region. Okay. So it's a very, very important point that you make. And this is really critical. So with Vultr infrastructure, there's another part of it as well, which is how do you get your data into our cloud storage to support your training runs or to support your, RAG enablement of your, inference model. That is where we provide direct network connections from your data center to our data center. So you can have a safe, secure connection that's encrypted, that doesn't go over the public internet, so that your data that's owned by you in your data center can be safely transmitted, put into a Vultr data center, okay, and made available to the model that you need to train or tune. So in that model you're training and tuning, there is no spillover. That is your instance of the model only available to you in your container registry for deployment to your own bespoke inference clusters or for deployment into our serverless infrastructure. You are completely isolated. Okay. That also goes from a sovereignty perspective. One of the unique things that we provide here at Vultr is support for sovereign and private clouds, where you can have your own dedicated resources on your own dedicated networks and also have air gap resources within our data center. So here at Vultr, security and compliance is very important to us. So from day one in 2014, when the platform launched, we put an extreme emphasis on security and compliance. This is why we're getting our Mighty certification right now in India, which is really, really important, especially for government users, but also for every enterprise user as well. So the safety, security, the residency of your data, the sovereignty of the data, the sovereignty of the cloud is a Vultr commitment to India.
Great to know that. So, based on my past interactions with you, you are one of the most technical CMOs that I have seen.
Thank you.
You actually get into the weeds and talk about the technology. So, tell us a little bit more about your compute offerings, the whole spectrum from bare metal to serverless. And I think serverless inference is something that you have recently launched.
Mm-hmm.
What is the uptake of that, and how are customers responding to this new offering?
Yeah. So there's two core parts to our business. There's core cloud compute. That's our core virtual, private servers. That's all of our VMs, and we offer the widest range of available plans for virtual machines, so that as a developer, depending on your workload, there's always going to be the perfect match between the performance you're seeking and the cost that you're able to bear. Okay, so wide range of plans. That includes plans that are on shared infrastructure, where you might be sharing a host machine with several other people in your own isolated VM. That also is you can have your own dedicated machines as well. So you can avoid the noisy neighbor problem so that all of your virtual machines are only on machines that are owned by you. We also support bare metal on the core cloud compute side as well. So if you want to have physical control over the entire machine, that's a very, very popular option for people, particularly that are building their own internal or external SaaS platforms. Some of the most demanding scientific workloads as well, all deploy on our core bare metal servers. On the other side of the equation, we have our core cloud GPU that, again, we offer on a system by system basis. You could buy one system, two systems, three systems, four systems. We stand up entire large clusters for you as well. And we also deliver that as bare metal too. On top of both core cloud compute and core cloud GPU, we provide additional set of services as well. So on the back end, we provide all of our cloud storage. That's block, file, and object. Object and file and block storage optimized also for GPUs. Very, very important. Okay. On top of our core cloud compute and cloud GPU offers, we also offer our Kubernetes, managed Kubernetes, to make it very simple for you to scale up and scale down. And we also provide on top of both of them our serverless infrastructure as well. So if you don't want to build and manage your own bespoke Kubernetes cluster, you can just throw it onto our worldwide grid. And our serverless infrastructure will scale you up and scale you down to zero as necessary. We also provide all of the advanced networking, all of your managed databases, and a host of other ancillary offerings. And of course, we provide access to the entire Vultr marketplace, which gives you access to hundreds of pre-built services that are ready to launch in as little as 10 seconds.
Fantastic. I've been using H100s on Vultr, and the experience has been pretty smooth. Awesome. Since we are talking about AI, and I want to touch upon the most trending buzzword of this year, the agents and agentic
Yeah.
workflows.
Yeah.
So, two questions. What are agents and agentic workloads according to you? Number one. Number two, how do you see them revolutionizing your own operations, your own SRE, or your own customer support systems internally?
Yeah. So to answer the question, one of the first things that we need to understand is to truly build and deploy agents. There's an additional set of cloud services that you need to have available. So number one is, you need the support for, RAG enabling your inference model. Okay. That means you need to be able to stream real time data safely and securely from all of your backend systems, all of your operational sites, and then generate the embeddings, store it in a vector store, and then enable that as a front end for your inference application. So this means that you need to have an embedding service. You need to be able to spin up market leading vector databases like a Quadrant. You also need to support managed Kafka, so you can have the different providers that can subscribe to all of your backend data sources, and then have all of the heuristics that determine what embeddings to generate and what vector store to store it in. And you also need to have the direct connect between your physical locations and our data centers to enable the safe, secure transmission of that data in a real-time manner through our Kafka, through our embedding service into your vector stores. Okay, so there's an entire data chain that needs to be enabled to ensure that agents always have the proper context to give the proper response. Here at Vultr, we also strongly believe that to truly do agentic AI, you also need to have the serverless foundation as well. Because if you're going to have a globally distributed customer base, you're going to need to be able to give lightning fast responses And that means that you need to always have sufficient capacity in order to support any spike in any set of requests coming from anywhere around the globe. So this is for Vultr very, very critical. So what we do is we take all of those core services, and then industry by industry, we provide documentation for specific use cases for how you can build different agents to support different use cases in healthcare and financial services, and manufacturing and other verticals. So it's a bit of a buzzword, as you correctly said, but behind it is a real technology need in terms of new services, the wiring of those services, the availability of the services, and the technical documentation set of examples around how to use those services. And that's what we're pioneering here in 2025 in Vultr.
Perfect. Perfect. And how do you plan to use agents internally? Can we expect a bot to replace your customer support?
So yes, we have a lot of internal initiatives for building and deploying agents. Some of them are actually already deployed. I'm not at liberty to necessarily share some of the secret sauce behind how we provide, you know, the automation that we do, both and some of the superior customer support. But do know that there's a massive investment in agents, and we truly use Vultr infrastructure every single day. So before something is released, we first cut our teeth and use it internally in a real world use case so that we know it's working, it's delivering value before it's actually provisioned to our customers.
Fantastic. Well, like every time, I thoroughly enjoyed the discussion. It's great to have you as a guest on my show, and I continue to use Vulture, continue to advocate that to some of the startups that I advise and some of the developers that I mentor. So, congratulations for doing the great work, particularly bringing serverless AI and now the serverless agentic workflows to Vulture. So, thanks again, and I will talk to you again in the next quarter.
Thank you so much, Janakiram. Great speaking with you as always.